New this morning, federal workers have filed a lawsuit in California against Elon Musk over the email he sent to workers asking to detail what each person accomplished last week. The suit calls the threat of mass firings one of the most massive employment frauds in the history of this country. Musk's email asked for a list of accomplishments and stated that a non-response would be the equivalent of a resignation. Several federal agency heads have told their employees not to respond to that email. Scripps News legal affairs correspondent Avajoy Burnett joins me now live from our newsroom here in Washington. Good morning to you, Avajoy. Avajoy, let's start with this. How are government employees responding after that email that demanded answers for the work they did last week?
Hey there, Patrick. Good morning to you. Well, for now, many of those government employees are not responding because their agency heads have told them not to respond for now. As you mentioned, over the weekend, many of these people, tens of thousands of federal employees, received an email in their inbox from the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, asking them to respond to what they got done last week. This is something that was directly tied to Elon Musk because he also went on his social media platform X and told people if they did not respond, this would be seen as a resignation. This really caused a lot of confusion over the weekend because people wanted to know, what do I do? Do I respond and detail what I may have done or not did last week? And we started to see all of these messages from officials in these different agencies telling their folks to hold off on responding for now while they assess the situation. But what we also saw was a really rapid response from one of the largest unions representing federal employees. In this particular union, it is the American Federation of Government Employees. They fired back and said OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, does not have the authority or even the legal standing to request this sort of information from all of these federal employees. And their reasoning behind this is, number one, there's no legal standing, but typically what happens with federal employees is they go up the chain of command within their individual agencies if they need to respond to an email like this to get an idea of the work that they have been doing. And because this particular union has been so upset, they actually sent a letter to the person who's the head of OPM right now, number one, demanding an apology and also really criticizing Elon Musk. And I want to show you a portion of what they had in this letter to the head of the OPM, detailing why they believe Elon Musk should not have sent out this email. They wrote, by allowing the unelected and unhinged Elon Musk to dictate OPM's actions, you have demonstrated a lack of regard for the integrity of federal employees and their critical work. And what they're talking about here, this lack of regard, they talk about the fact that there are people in critical roles, for example, doctors at the VA, or maybe people who are air traffic controllers who don't have the time to kind of take time out of their day to answer what they see as a frivolous email while they have critical work that needs to be done. As we have already stated, several agencies have said they do not want for their staff members to respond to this as yet. For example, the FBI, they sent out a memo really going against what Elon Musk has requested, the DOD, HHS, Health and Human Services, and the deadline for people to respond is tonight at 11:59 p.m. And Scripps News can now confirm that at least one agency, the VA, has told their employees that they're able to go to the VA's website and pretty much copy and paste the purpose of the office, their mission statement, and respond to that email that way. And another big issue here, Patrick, is there are security concerns. There are people who are working in really sensitive areas, and you don't want for what they did last week to be sent to a possibly unsecured email. So there are all of these things that are playing out now while this deadline is approaching.
Yeah, plus, I mean, you think about it, you mentioned the FBI. If you're supposed to say, well, the 5 things you did, if you're investigating some sort of crime, you're going to have an indictment come out. There could be some sensitivity there. Do you know, Avajoy, so we've got this deadline coming up midnight. What is going to happen come midnight if a federal employee doesn't respond to this email?
That's yet to be seen, but I just got some new information in from one of our producers, and they mentioned the fact that even on the Office of Personnel Management's website, their own website, there's something that says these employees are not required to respond to such an email. So there's a possibility where we could see some employees not responding to this email at all, and it may be up to those individual agencies to say, we're going to take no action against those employees because really they haven't violated the job that they're supposed to be doing. So what we could be seeing here, Patrick, is really a rift. The first signs of rifts between people who have been put in place in these departments as the head of these departments. For example, Kash Patel, who was just confirmed to be the FBI director last week. And then Elon Musk, someone who has been at the president's side from the moment he was elected last year until now, someone who's had a very high profile. We could start to see people disagreeing with him publicly, someone who has the air of the president of the United States, but at the same time, someone who really could be getting pushback from the heads of these agencies, Patrick.
All right, Avajoy Burnett tracking all of that for us live from our newsroom in Washington. Avajoy, thank you so much.